In August of 1976, CBS released a new sitcom entitled Alice. It was based on the 1974 film Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore. It's about a widow who moves with her young son to start a new life, and she finds a job working at a roadside diner in Phoenix, Arizona. This title role is played by Linda Lavin. Most of the episodes actually revolve around Mel's Diner, where she's employed. The theme for the show was called That New Girl in Town, and the music was done by David Shire, but it was performed by Linda Lavin herself. There were different arrangements of the tune that were used throughout the run of the show, and the lyrics were changed after the second season. There were a few changes that happened to the set of Mel's Diner through the years. In the pilot, the diner had a blue refrigerator, but in the series, that refrigerator was a dirty stainless steel color. And then later on, it changed to a clean, shiny stainless steel from 1979 to 81. Most of the rest of the set basically stayed the same through the run of the program. During the first season, it was decorated in an Aztec and cowboy motif, and this was done to create the feel that it was in Arizona. During the second season, though, the walls had pink wallpaper with red lines on it. And in the third season, the walls changed again to wallpaper walls with orange leaves on it. Alice's apartment remained basically the same, more or less, during most of the show's run. The actual restaurant building on which the show was based is located at 1747 Northwest Grand Avenue in Phoenix, and it's currently called Pat's Family Restaurant, or the last time I checked it was. From 1976 to 1985, it was known as Mel's Diner. And if you look back on Google Earth from the street view, you can see the name Mel's Diner on the building. In the movie that the show is based on, Alice's husband is portrayed as a violent and abusive man. Flashbacks involving the husband and Alice's conversations about him refer to him as being terribly abusive. But in the television show, this is totally rewritten because it was decided that this might alienate viewers and kind of detract from the Alice's every woman quality. The film was a critical smash, garnering an Oscar for Ellen Burstyn's performance in it, and it made around $21 million worldwide. Like the movie, the TV show was a solid hit. It was always sitting in the top 30 for most of its run, and Linda Lavin received a Golden Globe for her performance in this popular series. An interesting look at the series is that Alice had a lot in common with the 1977 sitcom Three's Company. Both of these shows featured major cast members being replaced 2 times. Flo was replaced by Belle, who was replaced by Jolene. On Three's Company, Chrissy was replaced by Cindy, who was replaced by Terry. Both of those first replacements happened in 1980, and the second replacements happened in 1981. There's some duplications in the episodes and the storylines that they involve. Both of these sitcoms feature an ATM going haywire. In Alice, the episode Mel and the Green Machine from 1980, and in Three's Company, The Money Machine from 1983. The payphone in the series was a touch-tone phone, and it was located on the left of the restroom's door in the pilot episode. For the first season, it was moved to the right of the doors that led to the kitchen section of the diner. For the second season, it was moved to the wall between the 2 doors that became the 2 separate restrooms and was replaced by a phone with a rotary dial on it. That restroom is another change in itself. The men's and ladies' restrooms were confined to one room in the pilot episode and during the first season. From 1977 to 1985, there were separate restrooms with ladies and men written on them. Mel's Diner had a real loyal clientele. But his food and cooking were constantly criticized by the waitresses and the customers alike, especially Henry, who was always blaming it for his indigestion. The favorite dish at Mel's was chili con carne, and quite a few of the episodes revolved around this lovely dish. The popularity of his chili also led to an appearance on the Dinah Shore talk show, and this in itself led to bickering among the waitresses because Mel could only take one person along with him, but everyone ended up going. Mel refused to reveal his secret ingredient to Dinah and her TV audience during their cooking demonstration on the show. The diner had its share of regular customers through the years, such as Tommy's basketball coach, Earl Hicks, local truck driver Chuck, and Henry, the telephone repairman, who always joked about Mel's cooking. And then there was quite a few guest celebrities that either played themselves or other characters while on the show. People like Martha Raye, George Burns, Robert Goulet, Art Carney, Desi Arnaz, and Jerry Reed. Almost every episode started inside the diner, and for the most part, most of the scenes took place there as well. There was a frequent non-diner setting that was used, and that was Alice's one-bedroom apartment in the Desert Sun Apartments. You see, Tommy, her son, used the bedroom, and Alice slept on the sofa in the living room. You also would occasionally see Vera and Mel's studio apartments, and Flo's trailer was also seen too. Mel really had two competitors in town, one being Barney's Burger Barn and the other being Vinny's House of Veal. Polly Holliday, who played Flo, left the show to star in her own series, which was a spinoff called Flo. In the episode airing February 24th, 1980, she leaves to head to Houston to take a hostess job. During her trip to Houston, she stops at her hometown of Fort Worth, Texas, and she decides to buy and run a failing roadhouse bar there, which she renames to Flo's Yellow Rose. She never goes back and makes any guest appearances on Alice after her sitcom started, although there are some flashbacks that include Flo that are shown in the final episode of Alice. Now, Flo's famous catchphrase while she was at the diner was "Kiss my grits," and this was enjoyed by everybody that watched the show. The popularity of this character and this phrase went through the roof. This was originally written as "Kiss my honeydew," but there's two things that I've read about this. One is that it didn't get any laughs, and the biggest thing was that they felt like this was too personal and shouldn't be used on TV. So they looked for some other thing to change it to. In the original film, Flo was played by Diane Ladd, and she tells Mel in one scene to kiss me where the sun don't shine. After Flo left to start her own show, they tried to give Belle a catchphrase that would duplicate the popularity of "Kiss my grits," and her new saying was "butter my biscuits." Now, it's allegedly been said that Linda Lavin had trouble getting along with her other co-stars, and they state that that's why Polly Holliday and Diane Ladd left the show. I don't think that's the case at all. Polly left the show for a spinoff, but there may have been some friction between these ladies and the primary character played by Linda. I find it somewhat ironic that people said the same thing about Alice's sister series on Sunday nights, that being One Day at a Time. Bonnie Franklin supposedly had trouble getting along with some of her co-stars too. Now, I think it's more likely that this is a true fact as opposed to the Linda Lavin story. The series was always popular during its run, and it's a blast to go back and look at it and get a few laughs at Mel's Diner. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll continue to chase the classics.